What about the Midi-chlorians? He's over 20,000? Ah! Now, why on earth is the concept no longer a hot button topic? And when did the collective frustration simmer down? Hi everyone and welcome to our channel. Today I'm going to share my take on the introduction of the Midi-chlorians concept, my first impressions on the matter, how it affected people in the Star Wars community, and why in this galaxy far, far away did the topic stop being a big deal, assuming it's no longer a big deal. So let's go to the first time Anakin Skywalker asks Qui-Gon Jinn what midi-chlorians are after overhearing Yoda talk about it. Qui-Gon's explanation is this.
Midi-chlorians are a microscopic life form that reside within all living cells, and we are symbionts with them. Life forms living together for a mutual advantage. Advantage. Without the midi-chlorians, life could not exist, and we would have no knowledge of the Force.
So based on this definition of midi-chlorians, we're now introduced to the concept that the Force, or cosmic force, can communicate with the physical realm, or living force, through these microscopic life forms in our cells. To put this simply, the Force is quantifiable and measurable, that based on the amount of microscopic things in your body tell you how sensitive you are to the Force. Now flash back to little old me watching The Phantom Menace for the first time. I thought that, actually I didn't really think about it too much. I just remembered not hearing the word in the previous movies and was pretty much obsessed with the duel of the fates and the battles in space in between the Gungans and Droid army. After my giddiness subsided and thought about the Force from watching the first trilogy, I looked back and confirmed that I totally didn't hear the word midi-chlorians until Phantom Menace. Obi-Wan, in A New Hope, describes the Force like this.
The Force is what gives a Jedi his power. It's an energy field created in all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together.
And Yoda in The Empire Strikes Back describes the Force like this.
A Jedi's strength flows from the Force, but beware of the dark side.
Okay, you get the picture with that one. Yoda also mentions that
My ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is. Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
you get the picture. Man, I'm pretty bad at that. And here, as Luke meditates, Yoda says,
Concentrate. Feel the Force flow. Yes. Good. Calm. Yes. To the Force, things you will see, other places, the future,
Look, you get the picture. I'm actually grammatically impressed by Yoda breaking in its backward speak a little bit for these sentences, to be honest. From the way that the Force was described here, the Force was a form of energy. Now, growing up, being exposed to very Christian and Buddhist concepts, it closely resembled spiritual teachings about aura. Don't worry, I won't be preachy, I'm just saying. The way that I understood it as a child was that if you calm your body, learn how to notice how your physical, mental, and spiritual processes moved and affected your surroundings and others, then this energy, or aura, will be easy to feel and use. That's how I saw the Force being used by the Jedi and Sith, who were exceptionally in-tuned beings that can harness the energy to their will, be it good or evil. But as I said earlier, with the introduction of midi-chlorians, attaining the Force is now quantifiable, measurable. Now, don't get me wrong. Regarding the differences in definition, there actually aren't too many differences in the way the Force is used before or after the midi-chlorian concept. Force wielders still needed to be exceptionally in tune with the Force, and they needed to train themselves in order to utilize the Force with their will. The biggest difference is that now, the Force is used through a life form, not an harnessing of energy. And maybe the conversation doesn't need to go any further. Maybe it can just stop there and everything will be fine. As a matter of fact, watching The Phantom Menace as a kid really made the mysticism of spiritual concepts really manageable. But for a while there, it didn't sit too well with a lot of the Star Wars community, and there could be a number of reasons for that. Being able to measure the Force by looking at the number of microscopic life forms in your physiology had a negative effect on the perception of the Force as something mystical. Now, along with being a movie about family and bond, Some have also come to see Star Wars as a spiritual journey for our characters, and since the spiritual aspect of the Force has become a physical thing, valued in microscopic life forms, it sounded like a cop-out. Unintentionally, at least in the beginning, midi-chlorian count kind of meant that it wasn't actually about one's struggle, perseverance, or skills, rather one's microscopic credentials. So those that had great potential to be Jedis were probably not even considered first, next to someone with more midi-chlorians in them. It also subtly removed the value of the spiritual journey and replaced it with a scientific or logical approach to the way Force wielders conducted themselves. The value of the spiritual journey is now changed. The mystery of the Force is now gone. And to be fair, some might find scientific grounds to be a helpful addition to the Star Wars universe, and some might find the logical something that removes the impact that the unknown has on the physical world. In other words, there's no magic anymore. And I think this last point is the one that resonates the most with the frustration. People misunderstood what midi-chlorians meant in relation to the Force. Now, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but for a while there I thought that the midi-chlorians is the Force manifested in the physical realm. I wasn't clear on that fact until, well, again, my giddiness subsided. But you don't have to fess up, okay? I'll take the bullet for everyone, okay? No need to confess to being confused. I'll let that slide. We'll all let that slide. So why is it not a big deal now? Well, this might sound like a cop-out in itself, but I think it's just a sign of the times. I think this is the reason that midi-chlorians are no longer a cause for intense rage scoring over 9,000. I mean 20,000. Nowadays, we like quantifiable and measurable. We added to the Star Wars canon based off of the concepts introduced in the prequels regarding the Sith, the Order, the fall of the Jedi, and the impact of the Clone Wars, and it all fits. Even the spiritual journeys have introduced so many different characters that expand the notion of the Force in such a deep way. All the while, midi-chlorians were involved in all of it. As a child growing up, to hear the addition of midi-chlorians to the Star Wars universe was another way for my imagination to really take flight. Now, the spiritual realm and the physical realm actually connected with each other in a practical way, making the spiritual journey less vague for me. It's now actually attainable, and not just for monks and folks in pilgrimage, but also for those willing to tune in to themselves. Now, my 2 cents in the matter, and believe me, my 2 cents is worth a penny. It faded because we grew out of it. We got over this notion that midi-chlorians are mediums for 2 dimensions because it actually supported our reason for things. It may have taken some time for us to simmer down, but to be fair, this galaxy has so many more longer-lasting, polarizing topics. Now, whoa, one controversial topic at a time. But let me know what your thoughts are on the matter of midi-chlorians and why we're in amicable terms with it now. Am I on the right track? Am I just off my rocker? Did my Jerry Seinfeld impressions sound too close to my Obi-Wan voice? Which impressions hurt you on a spiritual level? Leave a comment down below on your thoughts. Like and subscribe if your midi-chlorians tell you it is the way. And may the Force be with us. Cheers.